Ha! Ames, what's good? Gene, what up, boy? About to pin this tweet real quick. Here we go. Bang, bang. Nice. All right. Can you guys hear me well? How's that lighting? All right. Kind of let the room fill up here. Now I gotta put this timer on. Bingo. What's up, people? What's going on? Just letting the room kind of fill up here a little bit. I think we still might have a minute or something like that. Nice. Thomas, what's good, man? Ready to get this conversation going, man. All right. I think Mark should be joining here pretty soon, too. Ain't nothing, T. You know, trying to maintain like everybody else. What up? What is that, live? WF32, what's good, what's good? Mr. Ramos, what's good, yo, yo? All right, so, welcome everyone to Designated Reports. First boxing night out. I appreciate everybody joining. We have 4 guests tonight. We're going to start off with a former fighter, an amateur standout out of Brooklyn, Mark Aneen. Hopefully I pronounced his name right. So Mark had a outstanding amateur career. We're going to start off talking with him. So let's go ahead and bring Mark on. What's good, everybody? As Mark comes on, everybody joining. Welcome to Boxing Night Out. Mark, what's good, man?
Yo, what's going on, man?
Ain't nothing, man. Thank you for joining us and being the first guest here on Boxing Night Out, the first ever live virtual event we're having. So I appreciate you, man.
No, it's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure. How you
So,
doing tonight?
doing all right, bro. Doing all right. So let's get right into it, right? I was really excited when I heard that you and I were going to have a chance to speak tonight, because once I heard about your amateur career, you know, thinking about the fight with Loma and Lopez, they had huge amateur careers as well.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me more about your career and your journey, when you started and how you got to be like a qualified national ranked amateur.
So I started boxing age of 11.
Nice and young, okay.
I started at age 11. Had my first fight at 12. So I started locally. And then, so I'll say when I was about 14 years old, I competed in the regionals. And when I competed in the regionals, I had a coach that, people would watch me. I was pretty good. Did my thing. You know what I'm saying?
So when you say regionals, is that like just one that's like the Northeast or?
Yeah, the Northeast, yeah. So you pretty much, the regionals, you battle the guys from the Northeast. So pretty much New Jersey, Connecticut, Boston.
So like for those particular tournaments,
Mm-hmm.
do you have to qualify for them, or is it just you
Yes.
show up?
Qualify from the local LBC, from the LBC. So the local, in New York and stuff. Yeah,
so tell me a little bit about your experience with tournaments and then some of the guys that you came up fighting, and how that experience kind of molded you as a fighter.
Well, my first big stage was when I was 15 years old. It was at the National Silver Gloves. So in Kansas City. That was my first big national tournament.
And that has like a bunch of fights going on at one time, right?
Three fights going on at one time.
Right.
So fighting guys from California, all over, the best kids in the country.
Right.
Yeah. So, I won my first national tournament there. But I met Andre Ward. So
Word.
yeah, I met Andre Ward. So I met him through Virgil. They watched one of my fights, and
Okay.
Virgil told me that Andre liked the way I fought. So, and after that it was there. It was good from there. So,
So
and
then,
then
as you go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, and then eventually, now you got the National Junior Olympics.
Right,
That's the
right, right, right.
that's the big that's the biggest tournament. That's like you win that, you the man. From Roy Jones, Oscar De La Hoya, Mike
Right.
Tyson, they all won that tournament.
And then
So
is that how you kind of set up for your journey for maybe going to the Olympics?
yes,
Right.
so, yeah.
Okay.
hmm So,
So with having an amateur career, and I know you've fought like a bunch of different guys. Do you think that with these two fighters specifically, either one of them has more experience that could be an advantage of this fight
yes.
coming? Okay,
hmm
and who do you think that is?
Lomachenko, definitely.
Okay, and now is that partly because of his amateur experience, the
Yes,
400 fights and what he had like one loss in like 400 fights or something like that,
yes,
two gold medals.
yeah, definitely, yes. You could consider him like a semi-pro.
Right, right.
I mean, with record 399-1. I mean, you pretty much done seen every style in the book. So
Right. So I
yeah.
agree that I think that experience can be an advantage. Now, transitioning back more to talking about the fight, do you feel that Teofima Lopez has the talent to nullify some of that experience, whether it's through his explosiveness or maybe just being a bigger athlete?
To be honest with you, no, I don't. And the reason why I say that is because Teofima just got one style. So
Okay.
and
So break that down for me. Tell
yeah,
me what you see in each fighter as strengths.
all right. So I'll start with Lomachenko.
Okay.
Lomachenko is what you call he's an angle specialist. He don't stay in the pocket at all.
Right.
So he finds his way to throw his punches. You know what I mean? So once he sets, I mean you're gonna get hit is whatever. So he just knows how to maneuver and get out the way. As far as Teofimo he just comes straight forward. So I mean he's very explosive, but
Right.
I mean a good boxer, any good boxer, they'll see that you can run through that. It's easy work.
So
Very
I
very
don't
easy
think
work. hmm
if I'm Lopez's corner, I'm not trying to outbox Lomachenko, so to speak.
hmm
Um, I do think potentially there's room for maybe Lopez to walk him down and see if he can really fight off his back foot, being that he's the bigger man. I do
Yes.
think that if Lomo got hurt by Linares, he got dropped. I do think that if Teofimo catches him, he can not only hurt him, but even stop him. So I think that's going to be the key where Lomo has to use those angles coming forward, make him
hmm
miss, and then make him pay.
hmm
But that's going to be, styles make fights. So I'm assuming that you think or that you feel that Lomo is going to win.
Yes. I really do. I just feel like because of the experience, he's just a better fighter. I don't feel Telefimo hasn't really. He's been tested with Richard Comey, but style make fights.
Yeah,
Richard
yeah,
Comey. If you look at his style compared to Telefimo's style, that style was tailor-made for Telefimo to knock him out. So in this case, now he's fighting a guy that's really, really, really smart. You know, I think it's possible frustration will play a key in the fight.
right.
And it's levels to this. So. There's really levels to this. So
So we have a question coming in, and it says,
mhm.
Mark, do you think Lopez has a chance at all?
You got a puncher's chance. I think
There's
he
al-
has a puncher's
there's al-
chance.
there's always a
Yeah,
puncher's chance,
yeah.
right?
There's always a puncher's chance. He definitely has a puncher's chance. I mean, he don't get me wrong. Telefimo has a good corner because he got Joey Gamache working with him. So I'm quite
Right.
sure they're implementing a plan to where they trying to work off the jab and try to cut him off, circling to his left. So I'm quite sure that but it's how he's gonna work and do it. So, but as of right now, he got to punch his chance. So, like I said, it's levels to this, and I don't think Telefimo has never seen a fighter like this. So, and I think he's really in this for a long night.
Yeah, well, I got to disagree with you. I think that Lopez has a little bit more of a chance
hmm
than we think because I do believe, and My co-host Gene, he's gonna be doing fact checking tonight. So I do
Okay.
believe that the fight's at 135, and Lomo is gonna be coming up. So I think the fact that he's the bigger man, I think we might see him try to walk Lomo down, absorb a little bit, try to hit Lomo to the body, which
Hmm.
we haven't really seen anybody be able to do, and potentially slow him down. If not hurt him, at least do enough to maybe squeak out a win. But I have to disagree. I do think that he has more than a puncher's chance.
I mean, you could say youth. I mean, I see where you're coming from because I could see from like a youth standpoint where he has a chance. I'll just be honest. But man, when you got that type of experience, it's kind of hard for me, to say that he's going to beat Lomachenko. Especially competing at the national level, you see all types of styles, and now it's like from being a former fighter to now being a student, you look at it as like you just don't see it. I don't see
Yeah,
it.
yeah, no, I
So,
certainly agree that the
yeah.
experience is there. So,
Hmm.
all right, so you pick you have Lomachenko now. Give me your outcome and walk me through it. Meaning, if it's a decision, walk me through how you see the fight being played out. Meaning, is it going to be just total domination? If it's going to be a stoppage, what round? Like, break down the fight and your outcome for us.
Well, my breakdown is this: I think footwork is going to play a factor. All right, so that's where the frustration comes in at because Teofima have to chase him. So I think once he chases him, he thinks he's going to hit him, and he's not there to hit him. I think eventually, just like all the other fighters, they all go through it. They get frustrated because they can't hit him, and then mentally
Yeah,
he gets him.
he's had a
Yeah,
number of quality fighters stop
yeah,
or just kind of not come back from the
yes.
corner.
Hmm.
So, all right, so what's the outcome going to be for you?
I got 10 round stoppage.
Oh, okay, so you
Yeah,
TKO or
because
knockout?
I got TKO because I noticed in the later rounds, like when he pick it up, like the speed turns into the power when he's
Right.
picking it up. And so
That
and it's
accuracy
and
over time, the
yeah, yeah,
accumulation of punches wears
yeah.
them down.
So yeah, break him down. So I see 10 round stoppage.
10th round stoppage,
Yeah,
TKO.
yeah.
So that means you think he's going to be either dropped 3 times or more throughout the fight, or in the 10th round, there's going to be something that's drastic. There's going to be some drama in the 10th round, basically.
I think so. I think he's gonna show him who's the king at 135. So
Okay. All right.
yeah,
So
I think he's
you
gonna show
are
him.
our first guest. And right now, we have one for Lomachenko by stoppage, which is, I got to say, it's quite a surprise. Um, I'm not gonna pick who I'm gonna wait to later on to pick who I think is gonna win the fight. Um, but listen, Mark, I really appreciate you coming on, dropping a little bit of knowledge. We're gonna be doing a lot more of this with some of the fights coming up. So, if you're free, we still, we always want to use you and get
Yeah,
some more knowledge. So,
no
um,
problem, man.
very much appreciate you, dude. And continue to watch. We'll see who else, see if anybody else picks Lomachenko from the guest list. All right.
I appreciate it. No
All
problem.
right, man.
Thanks for having me.
No doubt. All right, guys. So we got one for Lomachenko. Interested to see, who the next guest is gonna pick. So next up, I didn't get a chance to see if he's in here. Shout out to everybody watching. So next up is Elicio De Jesus, who has a boxing forum. Where's Elicio at? There we go. Loma. Eric Kelly, what up, boy? You got Loma going on? Okay. Lopez will win in third round knockout. What? Oh, you wildin', son. Come on, man. I don't know about that. All right, yo, Elicio, if you in here, man, holla at me. So yeah, like I said, Elicio has a boxing forum on Facebook that he runs for a number of years. Yeah, Gene is bugging. Third round KO. Yo, no respect for Lomachenko, man. All right. Yeah, I'm not seeing the next guest in here. Mm. All right, we're gonna give him a couple more minutes. And if he doesn't pop on, I see Thomas is in here. Maybe we'll just go ahead and jump with the next guest, start that conversation. If he comes on, we'll just flip the times. Yeah, Gene, if I would just hit up on my IG. Obviously, I can't do it right now, but he ain't fighting nobody. All right, bet. What time is it right now? I can't see anything. In terms of time, I can't. All right, so you got a minute. Yo, Thomas, hard body boat. If you in here, let me know. Yeah, he might have slid out because he's not supposed to go until about 7:30. Okay, all right. Good looks, T. Good looks. Luke Campbell's the biggest test. Are we talking about Ryan Garcia? Oh man, we need to stick him in the microwave for a little bit longer. All right, Gene, let me know when it's 7:15. If Delicio's not on by then we got Thomas in here. We're gonna go ahead and straight to cut to him. Bum, 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 bum. Take my guy. Boom, boom. All right, yo, T, Thomas. Let's see if we can get you on. If anything, we can extend this conversation a little longer too. All right, there we go. Yo,
Yeah.
oh, my man is in the
Hold,
gym.
hold it down, man.
Word, stunting on me like that, huh?
Had to have the bags and everything in here, man.
Real life. I appreciate you, Thomas. What's good, man?
What's good, bro? How you, man?
I'm well, man. I'm well. Really appreciate you. Yo, thanks for being flexible and rolling with the punches here.
Hey, I wanted to hear what everybody had to say, man. It's a boxing podcast. I wanted to get everybody's opinion, man. You know?
Okay. All right. Well, we're fluid right here. So my man actually just joined on. Alicia, what we're gonna do? We got Thomas on. Sorry for the hiccup. So you're gonna stay tight, and we're gonna get you on at 7:30. All right. So Thomas, um, let's kick it off with you. So me and you actually met through fitness, right?
Right, yeah, definitely,
And then
definitely.
we kind of happened to chop it up that we both had some boxing experience. So I want to bring in kind of and bridge the gap between boxing and fitness for you specifically, but also tell me more about like how the gym and everything is going on.
For those who don't know, I'm a co-owner of JTW Fit. It's a gym in Harlem, 132nd and 7th. Definitely follow us on IG at JTW Fit. We do everything here. We got strength and conditioning classes, beginner, intermediate, and advanced. I mean, beginner classes will get you in the door, show you how to do a couple of movements. Advanced, we go all the way up to Olympic weightlifting, and we do the same with boxing classes as well. Beginner class will put you on, show you the basics, let you get your feet wet. Then after that, we got our advanced classes. We'll start doing more moves. We'll get more advanced in the moves, give you a little bit of homework on what fights to watch, why we're doing certain drills, get a little more technical. It's not so much about hitting the bag, but we had footwork, more technicalities about the sport. I mean, we try to go into much detail, and I try to make it different because we uptown. I'm not knocking downtown stuff. I'm just not really into that.
Right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
I
that's
make
one of the things that I love about you guys. You guys are close to the community. You are the community, and like everything you just like, you guys are really legit when it comes to the functional movement stuff, boxing technique. You know, so I definitely want to big up you guys. So people can find you. You have a website where they can sign up for class and everything, right?
Definitely. You can either go on Mind Body directly and search JTW Fit, or you can go to our website www.getjtwfit.com. And you can sign up to any class, read up on me and my boy Ja. You can find out personal training rates, class rates, and get a good description of every class that we have on the schedule.
Word, shout out to Ja. Yeah, man. So you guys definitely want to check them out. Now, Thomas, so you gotta let me know, man. Tell me more about your boxing experience. What age did you start at? Like, I know that you know a lot of fighters throughout New York. So give me your journey in terms of boxing.
So I actually ended up starting boxing late. I got a friend of the family. You know how it goes in the neighborhood. You got the community babysitter. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I see every day as a kid, and her son-in-law was actually a coach at Freeport PAL.
Okay.
And he wanted to actually put me on, and I couldn't do it because I was playing other sports. My cousin did. I was about 14. And I passed up on it, and I ended up playing football and basketball and hooping. I mean, I went to Long Island Lutheran, it's the big basketball school in the state, in the nation.
Gotcha.
You know, I stuck with basketball. I didn't really start boxing until after my mid-20s.
And that's actually like a really popular thing with a lot of fighters nowadays, right? Like even kind of my story too. But go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, it's real. I mean, even Anthony Joshua started late, Deontay Wilder started late, and everybody who knows those two, look, they got belts. I mean, they're doing well. Wilder's 41-1 right now, something like that, or 41-1.
Bronx Bomber, yeah, man.
So, and Anthony Joshua, I already know what time it is with him. I mean, you could definitely start late. It's all about the hours you put in, and all the good hours you put in, I should say.
Right.
So yes, I started late. I got about 15 fights. On my last fight, I lost in the chip and the gloves to I can't even say his name, man, because I see it because it's so deep in Russian. You know
listen. You preach this so quiet. I'm horrible with names too, man.
I know his name, but I know how to write it. I just can't say it. But basically, he boxes he comes out from underground boxing gym out in Brooklyn. Got actually a bunch of good fighters out of there. So
I think Brooklyn might have the best list of fighters, man. Like,
by far.
Like it's real heavy. So okay, so give me a breakdown of what's your style like as a fighter. Like, are you a counter puncher? Or you a boxer puncher? Or you a come forward guy? I kind of feel like you might be a boxer puncher.
So I'm actually kind of a little bit of everything. I'm actually kind of
okay, all right.
I actually got that from my first loss. My first loss, I fought a counter puncher from Brooklyn. Ended up tearing me up. I'm not gonna lie, like I didn't really know what to do. He kind of froze me, ended up tearing me up. I never forgot that. It was in the semifinals of the gloves a couple of years ago. So after that, I kind of went back in the gym. I'm like, I need to get comfortable with every style so I can always adapt to the game. So I can come forward when I have to, fight off the back foot when I have to, I can counter when I have to. If I got to bang a couple of times, I could do that. I never really wanted to be stuck in one style. I kind of wanted to be like a chameleon.
Right. The great ones know how to adapt, right? They know how to switch styles, kind of.
Yeah, definitely, man. I definitely I don't want to fight like a heavyweight. I fight at cruiser at 201. So I've always wanted to make my style more of like a middleweight style, have the power and the speed with it. So like I never wanted to be like a one punch type of dude. I wanted to throw 3, 4. I always wanted to be able to move my feet. I wanted to be able to change angles. I wanted to be light on my feet,
Right. So that's really telling with us transitioning and talking about the fight, because I do feel that, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that fighters tend to side with the style that they know and they appreciate. So give me a breakdown of what you see in Vasiliy Lomachenko and what you see in Teofima Lopez in terms of styles.
So I mean, everybody knows Loma's fast as hell. I mean, the footwork is crazy. Angle work is crazy. I mean, he has it all. I mean, he's almost complete. He doesn't have too much power, but as far as everything else,
he has accuracy though. And it's
exactly.
Talking about his speed, when I see him fight Gary Russell Jr., who I think has the fastest hands in boxing, I was like, okay, this is a different level.
Definitely. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. When I saw that fight, I didn't think he was gonna pull it out like that. But I mean, kind of caught me off guard. I mean, but look, resume too. Like he got Crowley, he got Luke Campbell. He got
Rigondeaux. He got Rigondeaux.
Rigondeaux. He got a win against Linares. Like, and I'm not gonna front. I was a little bit of Cuban bias. You know me, because I'm Cuban.
Right.
But Rigondeaux, I didn't think it was gonna go that bad. I had to take
I didn't either, man. I didn't either.
But I mean, like, it's clear he can pretty much adapt there. Even for Pedraza too, right? Yeah, he fought Pedraza too.
Yep, sure did.
So I mean, he can pretty much fight anybody, man. I mean, the first fight that I really kind of sat down and was like, all right, Loma's the truth though, was the Walters fight when he fought Nicholas Walters. I watched that live when he fought.
Right. Guy from Jamaica, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like to see someone, you know, me personally, if I was a fighter and I got the strap, I just can't see myself giving up if I have the strap. Well, I can't give up anyway, but like to be someone who has the belt and to go in a fight and then give up, I think it was like in the 8th round or something like that or whatever. Like to have someone make you feel that bad was just, for me, which is very telling to like what Lomachenko was doing to him in the ring. Mentally, not even physically, just mentally. Like,
yeah, that's a different level of having somebody who is battle tested be like, you know what, I'm good. I'm going to set this one out. You know what I mean? Kind of reminds me of when De La Hoya didn't get up from, you know, when he was in that corner fighting Manny Pacquiao and he was just like, no mas. Or even going back to the whole no mas with Leonard and Duran, right?
Yeah.
So it's okay. So now give me what you see in Lopez though, right? Because it seems like the conversation of the night is going to be really about the matrix and the angles that Loma can really present. But Lopez is in this fight for a reason, right? Like, so what do you see from him?
Like, he hasn't fought the same level of competition. I mean, I will say this, though. I was definitely pleasantly surprised. I didn't think he was going to be Comey like. I was at that fight. I didn't think he was going to do him like that in second. I thought that fight was going to go a little longer. I thought Lopez was going to stop him. I didn't think it was going to go like that. He has a lot of power, and he also is fast, right? But I think for him, he's going to have to learn how to be patient. Because I think he's going to go for the big shot. Like your man, he's going to want to do that. But I think he has to be patient and time himself and not get frustrated. Because I think the big shot will be there. Like, I mean, I remember watching him when Loma fought Leonidas. And everybody, I actually thought Leonidas was going to win that fight. I mean, he got hit with a body shot. I think it left to the body and got stopped.
Yep.
Look at the cards. It was a good-ass fight.
But he also dropped Lomo too, and that was more of a flash knockdown.
Yeah.
But that's telling to me because as much as he's a very accurate puncher, but he's not a guy who's going to get you out with one shot. Where I think Teofima Lopez, he can get you out with one shot.
Exactly. And that's why I was talking about patience there. That's why I'm bringing up the patience. Like, if you can just let him hit it, let him get his shit off, changing the angles and like that, just time it. You might be able to get one good one off, and then you can walk him down, have him on the ropes, do what you got to do. Possibly. We'll see.
Well, I'm gonna be interested to see how Teofimo approaches the fight. Look, if a guy's faster than you or he has more power than you, you got to commit to the body. Now, that's easier said than done. But if you want to slow him down or you want to take some steam out of those punches, you got to commit to the body. So I think that Lopez, he might surprise us, come forward, maybe absorb some of all those accurate shots and maybe slow him down with some body work. But that's a big commitment. So I think that if he can slow him down and then maybe catch him in the later rounds, that's where he can, get the W. But it's going to be really hard with Lomo, man, because the thing about Lomo, he'll make you miss while he's going forward.
Definitely. And more importantly, what I think for Teofima, I'm like, you're not really going to win rounds in this fight, like, based on what I see. Like, so you got to go and wear him down. Like, I mean, wearing him down, leaning on him, getting good call quality shots in, making him more tight, making him move a lot more than he's used to. So, and like we both know, he is the bigger man. I think after trying to go up to 140, if I'm not mistaken. He's trying to do that. I don't think he can make 135 that much longer.
No, he's not going to be that much longer. And I think he was probably waiting around to get this kind of fight and then, go ahead and go up and wait.
Exactly. So I mean, if I was Lopez, I would definitely try to wear on him. I mean, I would try to land big shots. It's funny. Maybe if I was him, I'd watch two fights. I'd watch Leonidas fight over again. You know what I'm saying? I watched that. But older fight, I'd actually also go watch Jojo Diaz against Gary Russell. Somebody who's fast versus somebody who's powerful. Like, I don't know if you got a chance to watch that fight back. It was like a Friday night Showtime fight. Nobody really saw it.
No, I think I missed it.
Yeah, Jojo Diaz, it was really, really early in his career, but you could tell he had a lot of power. And there was times he was kind of slowing Gary Russell down, and you thought the fight was going to go the other way. I would definitely watch that fight if I was Teofimo, use some tidbits from that fight. You know what I mean? And
who was the second fighter? Those are two great points. Who was the fighter that Lomo fought who was an experienced guy and he came in heavier and basically just trying to use his weight and experience. I think it was the second fight. Wasn't it like Orlando Salido or something?
No, it was Salido, I think. Wait, was
Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of a blueprint too. And that's what I'm saying with Lopez's size being the bigger man and then being, he's probably the most explosive puncher outside of Russell that he's faced. So you agree?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I mean, you can tell. I mean, you got fireworks in both of his hands. We all know that. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, and on top of that, he's very athletic. You know, what I mean, he has a lot of. I mean, I've seen him knock people out with leaning forward into a left hook. I've seen him throwing crazy right hands, crazy uppercuts. I wouldn't see coming from anywhere. I mean, he's definitely got power in both hands. That's something definitely Loma would have to watch out for. But again, we know Loma with his footwork, how he moves. I mean, he's taking shots before. Like I said, Leonidas was a good fighter. Not really as heavy as Lopez, so not really want to wear on him like that, whatever. But again, I think that he has a chance. I just don't see him doing it by winning a bunch of rounds. I see him doing it by wearing on him, putting a lot of body on him, hitting him to the body a lot, taking it deep into the fight, slowing him down, and see what he can do.
That's really, you got to take him in deep waters. You're the bigger man. You got to take advantage of that, almost like what Fury did with Wilder in the sense. And I think that's, that's why I see him, because he's not going to outbox him. So, all right, now, clearly it sounds like you got Loma, right?
Yeah, I definitely got Loma winning. I mean,
okay. Now, and what's your outcome? And walk us through how he's going to get to that outcome.
Well, I got an 8-4. I got Loma winning 8 rounds. I got Lopez winning 4. I got Lopez winning some of the later rounds.
Okay.
I think that he can definitely still come up in there. Like I said, make him tired, wear him down a little bit, create some fireworks in the later rounds. But I just don't think it'll be enough to pull it out. You know what I'm saying? Like I think Loma's gonna get out pretty early. I say maybe round 7, 8, 9, 10, somewhere around there. We'll see Teofima get off, but I definitely think Loma will still close it out in the championship rounds, 11th to 12th round, and end it right there. You know what I mean? I just think that the amount of fights he's had, obviously in the amateur, I think he's he got 400 fights, 396 and 1, 397 and 1, something.
Yeah, so two gold medals.
I just, it's kind of hard to go against that. Kind of hard to go against that experience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. And a lot of people feel that Lopez talked his way into this fight. So, that's why we watch. We want to see if he backs it up. So you believe it's going to be that would pretty much be a unanimous decision, right?
Unanimous for sure. I don't really see I don't see Loma stopping him at all. I know your man thought he was gonna stop. I can't see that. That's just me personally. I can't see that. Again, if Teofima comes out with the win, it's definitely gonna be with a late stoppage. You know what I'm saying? Like when he wears him down, it's definitely gonna go far. We're getting at least 10 rounds in this fight, at least.
Right. Yeah. I think both athletes are gonna be well conditioned. I think there was a fight where Teofimo fought a dude. I think it was a little bit longer, and he didn't look great. And I think it was right before the Comey fight, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know that fight. Yeah. Also, Teofimo got a habit of just because he's so flashy and because he's so quick and has done a lot of work knocking other people out. I mean, go like 90% of his fights are knockouts or whatever.
Yeah.
Defensively, he's got to get a lot tighter, and he showed a lot of flaws in that fight. I know what fight you're talking about. You got to get tighter defensively, especially on his left side, and you're about to fight a southpaw. So, so we'll see how that goes. But if he tightens that up, hey, maybe he might have a chance. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, so you just touched on a really good point, but I'm kind of waiting because we're closing out the show, talking to a southpaw, former number one,
my man,
junior.
My man.
Yeah. So I kind of want to leave the southpaw angles and stuff for that. But you brought up a really good point, and we haven't even mentioned the fact that he's a southpaw. We just been talking about his skill and his experience. So it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be a hard night for Lopez.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, he's gonna earn that money. He's gonna earn that check. He's definitely gonna earn that check. I mean, like I said, I see Loma coming out, winning that 8-4. I mean, and after that, hopefully we see that Tank fight. We've been waiting for that one. I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Okay, all right. So let's close it off with that. So you think that if Loma wins this fight, then the next fight has to be him and Tank?
That's me. That's what I think should happen. That's what I would want to happen. The question is, maybe the promotions let that happen. You know what I'm saying? Or does Tank really want that smoke? You know what I mean? I'm not sure he really does. You know what I mean? Again, that's the fight I would want to see because who else is left?
Nah, listen, that's a perfect way to end our conversation, because I do think that if Loma wins this fight, he's going after big fights, and anybody in that lower weight, it's got to be Tank, right? Because if he beats Santa Cruz, who's a 4 division champion, has run through that, those lower weights, then who else you going to fight?
Exactly. And I ain't gonna lie, I don't like that matchup with Santa Cruz, man. I think he's too small for my man Tank. I don't like that.
But listen, that's what we need, guys stepping up and taking those fights, because a lot of guys don't want to fight.
Definitely, I agree. But I don't like it for him, man. I'm not gonna lie, I definitely don't like it for him, man. I think he's too small. I think it's gonna be a tough one for him. I hope he's able to use his speed. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, definitely. So appreciate you, man. Thanks for dropping all the knowledge. You guys, make sure you guys check out JTW Fit and Thomas and all those classes. Again, man, have a good night. I appreciate you, brother.
Dude, man, appreciate you having me on, man. Hope definitely see y'all soon.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So up next we have the guy who messed everything up. Now I'm just playing. So Elicio de Jesus, he is a creator of a boxing forum on Facebook called Boxing Junkies, #hands. It's a private group, so you guys can talk freely and really get with some like-minded boxing fans. So Elicio, we're gonna have you go ahead and request to come on, and we're gonna start the conversation with you. There we go, Elicio. Come on. All right. Yo, Thomas, appreciate you, man. Connecting here.
What's up, bro?
Yo, what's up, man?
What's good, cuz?
What's going on, brother?
No,
finally got you on here. Sorry about that hiccup, man. I probably should have been a little bit more clear. But anyway, so let's get right into it. So you have a boxing forum, Boxing Junkies, right?
Correct.
So tell me, how long has it been on there? Tell me a little bit about some of the stuff that you do. Break down for us.
It's been on there about 3 years. Just few of me, my military friends. I mean, like we're avid boxing fans. So he's like, yo, let's just start a forum one day, and let's just try to make it as big as possible. Now we started 3 years ago, like I said. Now we're up to like 900 followers, and it's just
Nice.
it's everything from your favorite fighters to Roy Jones slander to how Tyson isn't the best. It's a great group. There's no disrespect. There's nothing. It's just everybody stating their opinion. And
So
yeah.
what are some of the most common topics that you get? Because you've already named some of them. What's like, give me like some of the more common stuff that you get.
It's always Roy Jones slander all the time. Yeah. Because one of the co-founders with me, his name is Glenn Johnson. He's a huge Roy Jones fan. And one of our main followers, Roger Godfather, he can't stand Roy Jones. So
You don't stand
it. It's just he always brings up his knockouts with Tarver, and when he got knocked out by Tarver, I always express like that was at the end of his career. But like you have to,
and then most of all the greats lose anyway, right? And then,
yeah.
and I don't think losing takes away from your accomplishments and how great you are. But that's pretty funny that people are getting on Roy Jones, man. Like, that's my favorite fighter that I grew up actually watching. Muhammad Ali, obviously, I didn't get to watch, but Roy Jones, like, when he lost, literally, I think I was, like, holding back tears. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, my favorite guy, like, one of my guilty pleasures growing up was what really got me in this sport. I was, like, 7, 8. I used to watch Butterbean all the time. Even though he's, like, a novelty. He was a novelty fighter, but it was just, like, just watching him just in the sport and just crushing people, and that just led me to start watching boxing more and just start to love the sport. So I thank Butterbean for actually introducing me to the sport, which is funny. A lot of people don't say that.
Yeah, that is kind of a little ironic. Now, did he fight in like some weird weight class or something like that? Like,
yeah, it was like super heavyweight.
Yeah. All right, so since you're basically a creator of content when it comes to boxing, I want to put you on the hot seat. I'm going to run through a couple of different fights. I want you to give me who you think's going to win in the outcome. All right?
All
right, so Roy Jones Jr. versus Mike Tyson.
Prime or current?
The fight that's coming up.
The fight. Well, they
The
have
fight
so
that
many.
has happened in 22 years too late.
They got so many stipulations behind. I think they can't knock each other out, and the ref will step in if it gets too aggressive. But
It is charity, I guess.
yeah, it's charity. But I think the way Tyson's training right now, he can get Roy Jones right now, because Roy Jones, last few years, he's been looking a little suspect. He's been taking like some terrible fights and terrible losses, and it's like against pretty much D-level opposition.
So you think so? Okay, so you think Tyson's going to take it?
Yeah, I think Tyson's going to take it.
Okay, all right. So let's move on now. Davis versus Santa Cruz.
Oh, it's going to be Davis hands down. I think it's going to go 12. Because Santa
Oh, you
Cruz,
think? Okay, you got to go in distance. All right.
I think it's going distance. Santa Cruz, he's real slick, and he's fast, and people underestimate that. Davis may have the power, but he hasn't. Somebody of Santa Cruz's skill set, like you said, 4-division champion. Like he's not a bum. The kid can box.
I do think that we got to watch out to see if if you go into the later rounds with a guy like Santa Cruz who can throw a lot of punches, what Davis's condition is going to be like. All right, so but you have Davis and then
I have Davis by split.
By split. Okay, so it's going to be
split.
close fight.
Yeah.
Close fight. All right, now the third fight. We got Errol Spence Jr. versus Danny Garcia. Give me the winner and the outcome.
So this actually, Danny Garcia will tie into Lopez. To me, a father-son tandem, if the father is not like an actual trainer in boxing, he actually hurts the boxer. And he hurts Danny Garcia in the long run because he does not train nobody else. So he has no familiarity with any other skill set to show his son. He can watch all the tape, but he's not watching other boxers. So Earl Spence is going to watch him in 8.
Wow, that's an interesting point. Okay, so you think he's going to get washed in 8?
Yeah, it's gonna be just a.
So you think all right, so you think Danny Garcia has Danny Garcia ever been knocked out?
He hasn't been knocked out, but Earl Spence is gonna be first to do it.
Okay, all right. So it might be a stop. It's not necessarily a knockout.
Yeah.
All right, that's an interesting take. Now, all right. So now Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. If next summer that goes down, what you got?
Well, we know Joshua got a little this suspect chin, and Fury is very relenting, and he doesn't give up. Like,
I don't think you can say that Joshua's chin is suspect because one, he's gotten up, and two, we're talking about him fighting the greatest heavyweights in the world. So you're talking about 1% of the 1% of heavyweights that can hurt him. So I think like his chin is decent, man. Like, come on.
But I think Fury is up there with those great heavyweights.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
so, absolutely.
And that's why I bring that point. Like, if Fury catches him, Fury's gonna knock him out. And Fury doesn't give up. Fury just keeps coming forward and forward and forward. He has, for someone of that size, he has some great conditioning. It's like he doesn't stop. He just punches and bunches, and then he'll smother you and aggravate you, and then you get out your game plan and he catches you.
Yeah, when that fight that he had against Fury, the second one, that was a masterpiece, man.
Yeah, that was like he just tagged Wilder like it was. He took Wilder to school.
That was a masterpiece.
Yeah.
All right, so those are some big fights. Now let's transition talking about those big fights going into the big fight, what we're here to discuss. So nobody's been giving Lopez love. I'm interested to see where you're going to start off with. What do you see in Lopez in terms of his strengths? Because I've been asking about Loma first. I want to start off with Lopez with you.
Lopez is a big hitter. He's a real big hitter. I give him that. Where he's 15-0 with 11 knockouts, so we know he has the power. But my thing is, can he withstand Lomo's? Just Loma has these vicious body shots. He takes these angles that are just ridiculous. Can he withstand that? Can he not get aggravated? It's like I watched his last 2 fights, which are just not even competition on Lomo's level. And to me, like against Comey, he just stood in the middle of the ring. He waited till Comey came to him. And his fight before that, I can't remember who it was, but he did the same thing. He stood in the middle of the ring. He waits. He sits and he waits. Lomo's not going to give you the opportunity. You have to press Lomo. So can he switch his game plan up? Can his father be a smart enough trainer to be like, hey, we have to box. We just can't sit in the middle of the ring. But if he catches Lomo, I think he can put Lomo down.
Yeah, I think that if 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 they have the game plan of standing in front of Lomachenko, which I don't think they have because outside of Lopez's father, because Lopez's father trains him as well, right?
Yeah.
Joey Gabosh is in his corner. I think
Yes.
he's been there his last 2 fights.
Yeah, I think he picked him up for the Comey fight.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that he's going to bring a different voice and a different approach, because how you beat Lomachenko is you got to walk him down, use your side. You got to attack his body. That's the way you got to do it. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's not the game plan, man, because to stand there and say, I'm going to catch him, I'm going to counter him, you can't wait with Lomachenko.
Yeah. But my thing is, like, he's going to 16th fight of his career. Can you teach an old dog new tricks in such a short amount of time? Or is he going to revert back to what he knows best? That's
why, like, for example, the fact that Tyson Fury did what he did, he fought, and shout out to Canelo, because Canelo switched up his plan too when he came back to fight Triple G, right? He was like, oh, you guys think I'm scared to stand in front of him? Watch this. So that's what the great ones do. And even the great ones that do it, you can still take an L, because when you find another great, that's just what happens.
Yeah.
But I do think that Lopez, look, you can't be barking this much and not have a different type of game plan than, let me just, like, it's not going to work. So I think that you got to force Lomachenko to fight off his back foot, even if he is good at creating angles, and you got to work the body. Ultimately, do I think that's, easier said than done?
Yeah.
That's, but again, going back to that second fight, I think it was with Salido, right?
Yeah.
So there's definitely a little bit of a blueprint. All right.
There's a blueprint. Even when he fought, Linares came in bigger than Lomo, and Lomo still took care of business. So you just have to have, like you said, the right game plan, and you have to stick to it the whole fight.
Yeah, no, 100%. Now, I do think that the weight does play a difference, because I believe Lomo has to go up, and I think Lopez is like bursting out the seams at 135.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. But there's just certain fighters, man. Like, their skills, their skill is so high that weight doesn't matter, right? Like Floyd Mayweather comes to mind.
Yeah.
All right, so break down. Who do you have winning the fight, and what's the outcome? How do we get there?
So I was talking to one of my coworkers. I think he's in my boxing group too, and he asked me to describe how would I describe Lomo. I said Lomachenko is like if you take Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather and have a baby, because this dude's anger. That's not
OD.
a reach.
That's OD.
That's not OD.
That's OD. But I got you. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish.
If you look at how slick he is with his defense, defensively he's slick. He understands the sweet science of hit and don't get hit, and then his hand speed and his angles are Pacquiao-esque. Just like he can just literally just bounce around you. Look at the Rigondeaux fight. How many times he was behind Rigondeaux before Rigondeaux knew he was behind him, which is like very Pacquiao-esque. And like Lomo rarely gets hit. If you watch his fight,
listen, so, I'm gonna let you finish.
It's a hybrid boxing, but I think looking at Lopez, if he sticks to his traditional game plan, he's out in 6. Because Loma's gonna kill that body, take them angles, and
so you have a stoppage as well.
I have a knockout, just like a knockout.
Okay, all right. So you oh wow, all right.
Yeah.
Wow, all right. Okay,
yeah,
I haven't given my my verdict yet. I'm wait to I get on with the next one. Gene, how we doing on time? Okay, so all right. So you have Lomo winning. So right now it's 3-0 Lomo. Damn, Lopez ain't getting no love. You know what? Next up we have a Brooklyn boy. You know what I'm saying? So I think he might be able to break it down a little bit differently. Yo, but anyway, thank you for coming on. Sorry about that hiccup.
That's all good.
We're gonna be doing more of these. Excuse me. So obviously, we'll be having you back on, man.
Bet. All right, Lou, you have a good one. Love the podcast, by the way, man.
No doubt. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So, cool. All right. So up next, we have one of Brooklyn's finest, This dude is a former #1 fighter at junior middleweight, I believe. His name is Sekou Iron Horse Powell. Sekou, what's good, brother? I'm just going to wait for you to request, and then we're going to get you on here. Yeah, I can't believe that Lopez is not really getting any love, but I guess, let's see here. Request. Let me see. We really got Jesus on there. Jesus. Teofima ain't the position Loma. Yeah, he ain't really been tested like that. Let's see if I can see if I can, all right, here we go.
Yo,
Say cool. What's good, man?
What's going on? How you feeling tonight?
Feeling good.
That's
Appreciate you coming on. I don't know if you heard me introduce you or whatnot.
I did. I was here. I was just now. I just heard the introduction. Thank you so much.
No doubt. Hey, so I don't know if you remember, because I know you've been on the boxing scene for a while. We've actually ran into each other back in my days at Trinity. I think you were getting ready for the Rosario fight at that time.
Okay.
And I think, it was like I was working with Colin Morgan with the PD camp and all that.
Okay. Yeah. Wow, that sounds familiar. That run.
You might have been. I think you might have been working with Angel at that time.
Angel Rivera. Absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, so when we want to reach out to you, man, I was really excited, to connect with you. So I really appreciate you coming on again.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So
this is amazing.
So look, I wanted to. I got a surprise question for you, because I believe you have some family that's in the UFC. Is that correct?
Right. So I have a younger brother who's
right.
MMA champion,
right.
2-division world champion. Yeah, and he fought in multiple different organizations, UFC, Bellator. Right. Yeah, he's a known MMA fighter.
So I wanted to get with your experience in boxing, and obviously you're close to MMA. I have a surprise question for you. Do you think that the Conor McGregor Floyd Mayweather would have a different outcome if they used the 4-ounce gloves that the MMA fighters use?
Right. Do I think the fight would have a different outcome
because of the gloves?
Because of the gloves. Well, of course it would. Yeah, the fight would have a different outcome, because of the gloves. Because if you use smaller gloves, right? If you use those 4-ounce MMA style gloves, what's going to happen is the person that's getting hit is going to be damaged that much more substantial than if you had on some 8-ounce boxing gloves. So yes, the fight would end much quicker. Yes, it would be a more explosive fight. But who would it favor? I still think it would favor Floyd Mayweather. Who's a better striker.
Exactly.
He's just a better striker because boxing is just a full-on striking sport. And I think that's one of the big reasons why a lot of MMA fighters even practice boxing at all.
Right.
Is to get the hand-eye coordination, get that pugilism, that part of fighting, which is a part of any that we've come to learn that the jab from the boxing stand is the most I'm trying to find the word is the most common way to attack a person from any art of fighting. So that's why, and I think that's one of the big reasons why a lot of MMA fighters have to get their boxing down pat.
Yeah, I think you make a really good point, because you hear a lot of MMA fighters or guys who support MMA make the argument that, well, if the gloves were different, but I think it would favor the guy who's actually more skilled. And I think you can talk to this more than I can, but MMA fighters, they'll tell you that the striking that they learn is very different from a fighter, because it's more nuanced when it comes to fighting. You're in closer proximity. A lot of the counters, for example, in boxing, we roll under. Well, if you do that in MMA, you're probably going to get hit with a knee or a leg, right?
Or something like that, 100%. They have to attack a lot differently because they're worried about a few different other elements of attack. They're worried for shoots. God shoot on you, grab your legs. they have to attack a certain way, and this is something that I've noticed, like working with my brother. But
Right.
but ultimately, the striking, just the snap, the pop, the accuracy of a pugilist, a boxer, is what the same thing that even an MMA fighter aspires to get out of his punches when he punches. He aspires to get that same snap, if he's doing it right, and they've ultimately figured that out, and I think that's that's the reason for the big marriage between the two. But yeah, it'll definitely suit the guy. It'll suit the better striker. Back to the top of the question. The guy
Right.
with the smaller gloves is gonna suit the guy that strikes better.
All right. So that was a major fight, and as somebody who is had to prepare for a major fight, can you really break down what a fighter has to go through mentally through that training camp? Like, because we always hear about, training camps where you win the fight, excuse me. But can you take us through leading up to a fight of this magnitude of, okay, after everything's signed, now you're going to camp. What are you expecting? Like, tell us, like, when do you start building up your rounds? And at what point are you checking your weight to be like, all right, I'm on the ball here. I got to push a little bit. Like give us the inside science.
Right. Okay. So now I'm gonna ask you if you're asking me in general for a fighter, or if you're asking me, how each fighter is approaching it.
I want to know your approach.
My approach. Absolutely.
Your approach.
All right. So usually, if you have a big fight, I can imagine these guys had at least 12 to 16 weeks to prepare. A fight of this magnitude. You want to spend the first few weeks just doing some physical conditioning. Maybe the first 2 weeks just doing a lot of physical conditioning, and then you're getting the gym. After about week 3, get your training, your contact training, get your hand-eye contact.
Is that where you start going into the skill work, week 3?
Skill work. Week three,
okay.
You start getting your skill work. And and the thing is, it's a repetitive process. All you want to do is make sure that you're doing the work properly with your coach. You by this point you've already broken down who your opponent is, and you already have a game plan of how you want to attack him. These are the things you're working on in the gym now. These are the different things. And after about 4-5 weeks, you're gonna start getting that sparring in, right?
Okay. So talk to us about that, because that's really where I remember. Did you work with Matthew Macklin for the Sergio Martinez fight?
I did.
I was, because that was at the time when I
did.
was. And I remember, and I don't want to give away too much about actual training camps, but he was getting worked, and then it translated to the fight where he did really well. So at what point do you know? What point do you say, okay, I'm starting off at 4 rounds, 6 rounds, and then I'm picking it up?
Right. Well, I think ultimately you definitely want to have an element. It's all about having the right sparring.
So cool. Let me say this real quick. If the hour ends and it cuts off, I'm gonna jump right back on. If that's cool.
That's cool, brother. I'm here. I'm hanging out with you. We're here.
All right. Cool. So let's just keep running it, and if it cuts off, we're just gonna get right back on.
Okay. No worries at all. Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, like I was saying, it's essential the type of sparring you have, right? You want to have people who shows the same elements of danger that your opponent has.
That's a very specific way to break it down.
Absolutely. Whatever your opponent does very well, you want to make sure at least 2 or 3 guys can emulate that in some way, because that's what you're preparing for, and so it's about the sparring. If you got the right sparring, and then you can pace the rounds, according to the proper sparring. But you definitely want to have an element of danger there. You want to have somebody there that can really push you in a certain way, kind of bring that real ultimate challenge out of you, because that's what's going to happen. You're really going to the fight. You want to make sure. So that's a big part of why you end up, sometimes you'll see like a #1 contender, doing sparring with the world champ. You know what I mean? Like
right.
He's trying to recreate that same intensity in practice.
So let me ask you. So are you using sparring just to work on that strategy, or you also at that point